Hello everyone. In this video I will focus on the key dinner sequence from the short film The Windmill in the Sea. This seemingly ordinary family meal carries the film's deepest metaphor. Through its composition, lighting, camera work, and editing, the scene quietly reveals how plastic pollution has reshaped the relationship between a fisherman's family and the sea. The film never states its environmental theme outright. Instead, pollution seeps naturally into daily life, into food, and into generational dynamics. In the following analysis, I will examine how this scene transforms environmental pressure into a tangible audio-visual experience. Let's begin with the first section, composition. The dinner takes place in a courtyard enclosed by brick walls and trees, forming a semi-closed space. This layout makes the characters appear trapped within their own circumstances, echoing the film's depiction of a marine ecosystem choked by plastic waste, restricted, stagnant, unable to breathe. The three characters sit around a low table in a triangular arrangement. Although this suggests intimacy, the distance between them implies emotional separation. When the camera pulls back, darkness and surrounding walls deepen the sense of confinement and entrapment. Food becomes a central symbolic element. The camera repeatedly lingers on the fish in the dishes. These are not abundant, appetizing offerings but dead fish, representing both the family's fragile livelihood and the declining vitality of the sea. The fish carry a double metaphor. On one hand, they refer to marine life slowly damaged by microplastic accumulation. On the other, once placed on the dinner table, they signify pollution silently returning to human bodies, a form of ecological echo. Next, we move on to the second section, lighting. The scene is set at night, illuminated only by a weak, warm courtyard lamp from the upper right. Shadows dominate the space. This relationship between faint light and overwhelming darkness mirrors the condition of the ocean and plastic pollution. Fragile ecological light being buried under layers of waste. The overall color palette is cold, dominated by blue-gray tones. Even the warm light is diluted by the cool environment, making the family atmosphere feel emotionally chilled, suggesting how survival pressure reshapes intimacy. Faces are often half lit and half in shadow, turning lighting into a metaphor for inner conflict. The father's face is split between light and darkness, a visual representation of his divided fate. The desire to keep fishing versus the unavoidable reality of becoming a garbage collector. The child's face is even more engulfed in darkness, signaling the next generation's diminishing hope in the future of the sea. The dim light on the table serves both practical and symbolic functions. It represents a small glimmer of hope, yet its weakness emphasizes the severity of pollution more than it offers comfort. Then we move on to the third section, shot design. The sequence relies heavily on static shots. This stillness freezes the family's predicament, giving it the weight of an inescapable environmental crisis. It also reflects a realist critique. Pollution does not vanish simply because people ignore it. Eye-level shots record conversations, creating the illusion of equal dialogue, even as the lines themselves are filled with resignation and bitterness. High-angle shots target the table and food, carrying a subtle critique. Is this all that sustains your living? Low-angle shots often frame the father, intensifying his anger and helplessness, making his emotional outbursts more forceful. Close-ups and medium close-ups capture subtle emotional details, his sighs, the child's silence, the mother's sorrow. The camera also lingers on hands and food, letting actions speak louder than words. For instance, the child gently stirs the rice with his chopsticks, an unspoken gesture of resistance and numbness. Finally, we move on to the fourth section, editing. The editing pace is deliberately slow. Long takes allow the emotional and environmental pressure to settle, creating a sense of time standing still. The film uses matching cuts to connect emotional reactions, moving from the father's close-up to the mother's listening face and back again, tightening the psychological tension within the family. Shifting from a medium shot of the whole family to a close-up of the child, and then to the mother's monologue, creates a dialogue between the family's collective struggle and individual emotional nuances. This structure implies that ecological disaster is not sudden but gradually seeping into daily life. Occasionally, voices precede the image, letting the audience feel the emotion before seeing the expression. The film avoids dramatic conflict and instead relies on silence and pauses. When the father says, "dead fish," the cut to the mother's brief silence carries more weight than any spoken response. In conclusion, the enclosed composition, static shots, cold lighting, and slow editing converge to form a single thematic statement: human helplessness and estrangement in the face of environmental and economic pressure. The fish on the table, once a gift from the sea, have become symbols of pollution looping back into human life. Through compressed space, low color temperature, and delayed rhythm, the film makes the invisible pressure of marine pollution quietly felt within a family's most ordinary moment.